Back. A little JANKSTREAM action. PrepperNow. Could be talking about the bird flu. Talking about some other stuff too. Actually, I want to talk about this. This one just kind of came across, but we're going to go through a few stories. A lot of the stuff I get is from Citizens Free Press. And from there, the rabbit hole goes to places like X. And then it goes to Axios, and you got Bird Flizzle, and then you can go to a personal favorite. I want to talk about this meat thing too. But we're going to start over here. We're going to start right over here. Calm the eyes. I'm sure the notifications are just flying out right now. They're just, YouTube is just spreading them like ticker tape at a Yankees World Series win, just spreading the news. PrepperNow is going live. Man, you want to talk about, it was interesting. Deep South Homestead, prepared Homestead, and pinball, all were going at the same time. So I don't know which one of you guys chose, but it was a buffet, if you will, of prepper streams and talking and all that kind of stuff. But this is an interesting one right here, okay? And I'm just going to present this with whatever, because these are facts, folks. I mean, facts is facts. So, yeah. So this is from Lawrence Fox. I'm not sure who he is, but this is just to give you an idea of how London has changed and how Britain has changed. Now, let's keep in perspective. I actually told this little stat to my father yesterday when we were talking on the phone. In 1997, the United Kingdom had a GDP that was worth more than India and China combined. Just wrap your head around that for just one moment. GDP more than India and China combined in 1997. And now, that was the year, of course, of, I believe, of Hong Kong. Might have been 99, I forget. But anyway, Hong Kong, came more under a protectorate kind of thing, transferred from Britain to China. But you get the point. And so, by the way, hopefully you can hear me. Because, yeah. So, Jane, I'm sorry to hear that, I think that I see things going both ways. I won't comment on there. I'll stay on task, but I'm sorry that you're having that situation. So this is what's going on. The mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, magical. He's a magical man. He was down, wasn't doing too well, and Mr. Magic Man pulled out the win yesterday. Congratulations, Sadiq Khan. Mayor of Birmingham is a Muslim. Birmingham's a pretty major city. Mayor of Leeds, major city, Muslim. Mayor of Blackburn. Now, I'm not absolutely up, but these are not small towns. They get smaller as you go down, if I'm remembering the very basics of my knowledge of British population. Ahoy, matey. Real strap. Mayor of Blackburn, Muslim. Mayor of Sheffield is Muslim. Mayor of Oxford, Muslim. Mayor of Luton, Muslim. Mayor of Oldham, Muslim. Mayor of Rochdale, Muslim. And so right now, the population is 4 million out of 66 million. So, I mean, what can we say? The Brits are a very welcoming people. They brought in all these wonderful folks. They were coming into the fold. And not just did they say, hey, we're not just going to have you. We're going to give you a voice. We're going to give you positions of leadership. So yeah, 4 million out of 66 million. You can do the percentages there on your own time. There are 3,000 mosques, 130 Sharia courts. Now mosques, I've got a friend, a couple friends that are Muslim. This isn't any kind of an indictment on that, but this is just showing you the trend in Britain and how a lot of these places in the world are trending and where they're going. Now, 3,000 mosques in England, okay. 4 million people need 3 million mosques. This one I have a problem with. This one, 130 Sharia courts. Now, if I remember what I know, Sharia courts are religious courts, and they are able to do things to people, and they're not so good, especially to women, if I remember correctly. Now, that's kind of where I go away. All right. Now, I could sit here and, we'll just leave the room thick with innuendo. But 130 Sharia courts, women in that situation might not be as, equal as other things going on. 50 Sharia councils. Okay. I'm not sure what that looks like or what that does, but this is an interesting one. 78% of Muslim women do not work. So they're traditional. They're trads. You guys ever heard the thing trad? They're trad wives. Okay, trads. So they're more into like staying at home and making the home and raising children. And you know what? Honestly, I think that's great. I would, love it if we had the ability over here to do that, to have my wife stay at home, and we just don't have that possibility right now. There's a lot of economic pressures on the old Americans, right? 63% of the Muslims now, they have a lot of children. They're known. I think they have like an average of 4 children. So I'm sure a large population of that are women and children, and the men, would make up the rest. So I think that's a little bit of a misleading thing, but maybe I'm wrong. It's 6 to 8 children. 6 to 8 children per average day receive accommodation. School in the UK is required to teach lessons about Islam. I teach a lesson about Islam. And he asked about the voting thing. That's clearly they're all right with the councils being with all of them. So it is what it is. Clearly this is what England wants, and I'm not sure there's a real voting mechanism for it, but I just saw this and I thought this is an interesting thing. And I'm sure that other countries in Europe are experiencing. So when people say, Europe is not that welcoming to people from other countries, from war-torn areas, I think we have the data right here that shows that they're a pretty welcoming people, and they are okay with them coming. But I just saw that, and I thought I want to come over and just show some interesting, because I was blown away by a lot of these numbers. I didn't know that there was so much leadership, and I didn't know that there was the amount of courts, because from what I understand, the courts, when I think of court, I think of like a legal, person was put there by voting, or, democracy, republic, whatever you want to call it, representative government. From what I understand, the Sharia courts are a little bit different. They're more kind of done from a religious aspect, and are, like over here, we've got a separation of church and state, right? So like a Sharia court really wouldn't jibe well, being religiously based. And I could be wrong. I might be screwing up the information, but just thought that was an interesting thing. Let's all go and look at the bird flu. Now, for the true fanatics, the people that are regulars here on the old PrepperNow. I thought about doing this entire thing in full-on Doom voice. Okay. Oh, we gotta get this centered. Sorry, we're janking, folks. We're janking. There you go. There you go. See, as you can see, very technologically advanced over here. I like the JANKSTREAM. I'm sorry. I know. I shouldn't JANKSTREAM. I like the JANKSTREAM. Because it just, I don't know. I like the JANKSTREAM. So, counties where avian flu has been detected in wild mammals since 2022. Now, this is our neck of the woods. Closest one would be this guy right there. The second would be this one. Third, fourth, right? So this guy right here, Huntingdon County, Pennsylvania, red fox. Not the old comedian who's absolutely hilarious. Again, over here, red fox. So in Pennsylvania, up in here in the northeast, right? Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival is well aware of this lovely area. This is where the red fox is prevalent, and we have them all around us. They make the females. They make a shrieking noise to get their little babies back with them. Down here, you've got American black bear. Yeah, little beach bear, right? Little beach bear right there. My personal favorite, though, is the flu-infected dolphin of Dixie County, Florida. I got to tell you, you guys remember the Doom cow? This is the Doom dolphin over here. Yeah, the Doom dolphin is species that avian flu has been detected in. So, polar bears in Alaska, red fox, again, Kodiak, American black bear, Albert's squirrel, mountain lion, striped skunk. We have one actually that lives outside. We call him Stinky McGee. He lives over by our shed. He's a wonderful guy. I think he let loose, and so he actually got our dog about 2 months ago. So that was fun. we learned. Wash lightly with baking soda and some other ingredients like Dawn, if you want to get the skunk out of your dog. And don't scrub. Do not scrub. Pad, wipe away, patience, that kind of thing. By the way, I would love to get to 40 likes right now. I've got 142 here. As we go through talking about the Doom dolphin and its other, woodland creature friends, if you could hit that like button, that does help do things here for the Al Gore rhythms. By the way, Al Gore was awarded the Medal of Freedom today, and I got to tell you, I'm proud of him. Nancy Pelosi had nothing to do with her financial status. Phil Donahue, Michael Bloomberg. The greatest was Kathy Hochul's remark on Bloomberg, who was an independent. I lived in New York during Mr. Bloomberg's reign, and I got to tell you, it wasn't a bad reign. I knew it was downhill when he started going after straws and salt and sugar. But anyway, she said that de Blasio and Adams are better than Mr. Bloomberg. Now, financials, state of the economy, general attitude of the average New Yorker would more than likely disagree with that. But obviously the only thing she freaking cares about is what letter that person has next to him. Even though you could statistically say that Michael Bloomberg was a very successful mayor in New York. And there are people that say that, and as a person that lived there for many years, I would agree. I wasn't there during Giuliani, and I heard good things. Giuliani cleaned it up, and Bloomberg kind of finished it off. But evidently Hochul only cares what letter it is if you have to be a magic Democrat, if you're going to be successful in Kathy Hochul's eyes. So what's going on with all this, right? Let's look around here. Okay, so this is the wide range. These are counties So polar bear in the Arctic, red foxes, penguins, wide range, right? Well, of course, it's spreading in the dairy, right? And that's the big concern. All right, I know I've been playful and all that kind of stuff. We're gonna transfer it over to from playful to more straightforward here, because this is serious stuff. So Antarctica, other wild animals have been infected. It's everywhere, according to this. 75% of new emerging infectious diseases in people come from animals. Most of those can be tracked back to wildlife. Monitoring wild animals for disease can help scientists, excuse me, a little yawn, identify emerging health threats. So, bird flu and avian influenza, select animals. On the whole, there's a very little surveillance of wildlife for any diseases, says Thomas Gillespie. Now, when I see that, the first thing I think we need to do is to document every living thing on the planet. I do. I think we should document all of it, make it so it's all got like a blockchain, and some kind of a global entity should look at it all to keep us safe, because there's nothing more ironic than worrying endlessly about the population of this planet and then doing everything you can to make it so the population explodes to the point where you have to go and do things to mitigate the explosion of the people. Wow, that doesn't jive. It's like the old 80s commercial. You guys remember the old 80s commercial about the business guy that would do cocaine? He said, get up to go to work so I can make more money, so I can buy more coke, so I can go back to work, so I can make more money, so I can buy more coke, so I can go home and then wake up the next morning, go to work, and it's like it's a famous commercial, and that's kind of like what this is going. That's what I think of with all this. I personally think they should just take the wraps off of everything. You want to go skydiving without a backpack, just make sure it's over the ocean, and good luck, that kind of thing. So I don't know. I think we've gone a little too far in this whole safety endeavor here on the planet, and the point now where people literally are rolling around. I mean, I see daily now people in their car alone in a car with a mask on, not like in the back seat, not driving it. I saw a guy come out of McDonald's, was driving past the McDonald's the other day, and he had a mask on, and there was literally no one around. He was outside. There's no one around him. So, Dark Side, thank you so much for being here. $2, friends, $2 to join the old PrepperNow on the memberships. I'm lamenting Hudson Valley doing his thing. Brother, I appreciate you, first of all, just for being a mod and a friend. But I'm sad to see that you're ending that endeavor, and I hope that good things befall you. I really do, man. I think I know, and I know that you know that we know. All right, we'll leave it at that. So, outbreaks of avian flu and farm poultry, wild birds started to increase 2020, right? Soon after, magic, that 2020, it's just weird. All this stuff just started happening, right? 2020 was the year, excuse me. I'm sure there's a 2020 beer somewhere. Soon after the virus started to kill mammals, seals from Chile to Russia to Maine, red foxes, Peru, other species, bird flu has been detected, and now cows, of course. And this is where everything is like a problem. So I did on the crisis report, for those who don't know, I have a pretty straightforward news report on my backup channel, youtube.com/@crisisreport. It's been basically the same amount of subs for 3 years. I don't do that for growth, and it's kind of a service at this point. So I'm not, it's just there. If you want to join, great. If you just want to watch, don't have to sub, whatever. Love to have you, but if not, I get it. But earlier today, they were talking about how someone was bleeding out of their eyeballs from the bird flu. and numerous cats had gotten into the raw milk, right? Which, first of all, this is obviously milk purveyors, and I would not want my milk having cats drinking it before it gets like processed, bottled up, and whatever. Now, the great thing is that Louis Pasteur has come up with this process called pasteurization. And pasteurization goes in and it kills any kind of rogue elements. And they've tested it. Even if there's parts of the virus that are left behind, the pasteurization process will do its thing. It will mitigate the live virus or anything that's left. It'll basically kill it. And if it gets into your drinking, no big deal. So, but I didn't know that cats were prone to hanging out with milking cows, and evidently it's a thing. And these cats are getting chicken rona, whatever you want to call it, chicken flu. Okay, I got you. I see you there, Hudson. Okay. I always wonder, I don't know if I've talked to you, there's a reason why I jank stream like this. I'll hit you back after. This whole thing is starting to kind of go sideways, right? So they're watching for evidence of the virus being transmitted from one mammal to another, which increases the risk of the virus for humans. USDA has confirmed the version of influenza is being transmitted between different cows in the same herd and between herds when they are moved, but exactly, there we go. But exactly how is still another question. So, this is something to be concerned about. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I get the image of a bleeding eyeballed human from bird Rona, kind of makes me want to, prep masks and stuff like that. Now, the good news is, in the great freakout of March 2020, when nobody knew what the heck was going on, I invested, actually it was January of 2020. I was watching Dr. Chris Martenson, awesome guy. And he was, at that time, the only one that was really getting any kind of a wrap around what was going on with Rona. And, I mean, he's, I think, a pathologist, Duke University, PhD, doctor. I mean, brilliant. Knew his stuff, knows his stuff. He's also honest, so I'm into him. And he was telling about all this stuff going on, this new thing out in Giner. And I went out and I invested in some of the Big Daddy masks, the N95s, right? So I've got a bunch of those left over. I mean, why not, right? They're in a prepping box. What's the worst thing can happen? Something happens. We're in East Palestine, Ohio, and we got to distribute some masks to friends. We're prepped and ready, right? So, when all this got going, I remember sitting there thinking, this is going to turn into something. Something's going on. This looks different, right? And with all the bombardment from this, I feel like this is starting to turn into something that is different, I guess. Wild animals in general thought to get the virus by eating an infected bird or being exposed to its feces. The cats, of course, were drinking the milk it was raw milk, so it wasn't like, they tapped into your gallon and poured a cup, like my kitties do. These guys went out and found some cow milk and started sucking it down. So, I mean, is it just me, or does it feel like there's a little bit of a war on meat going on right now? It's random that, like, of all the things, maybe it's because there's, livestock and they're usually in the same regions together, I mean, we have friends that are major chicken farmers, okay? And so we have an idea how things run. And, like, they don't have, like, cows on their land around them. They'll get like a side of beef. Excuse me, sorry. They'll get like a side of beef and they'll do it, but like this is one cow and it's separate and it's for their family and their friends, and their Amish processors do everything, right? And that's why we like to get it. It's literally like a number one. But it's just strange that all of this is come now. I just feel like there's a lot of really nasty stories that are going on around beef. Now, this is not bad for me. I've actually kind of, my cholesterol is a little high, so actually it's gotten better a little bit. But to mitigate that, I've gotten rid of most red meat. I'll have one every once in a while, right? So Cargill has recalled 8 tons of ground beef at Walmart stores. And I know Popular Preparedness did a video on this, but let me just reiterate. 8 tons of ground beef, it's a lot. Processed at Cargill Meat Solutions in Pennsylvania, distributed to Walmart stores nationwide, recalled E. coli contamination. U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food Safety Inspection Service announced 16,243 pounds raw ground beef may be contaminated with E. coli. States of Connecticut, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Vermont, Virginia, D.C., and West Virginia. So that's where we are. That's us. So, yeah, all natural. And you've seen it. I mean, we've all been through Walmart. We've all seen the Walmart stores and, the big things of meat and the big areas. And, all natural, lean ground beef. Code 117, 2.2 pounds. Prime rib beef steak burgers. Ooh, that sounds tasty. I'm going to get hungry here. Fat, all natural Angus premium. Fat, all natural ground beef. Fat, all natural ground beef chuck patties. Fat, all natural ground beef service. So that's a good amount. So comes 1 month after the walnuts sold at Whole Foods were recalled. So just all of the innuendo aside, right? What is going on with our food, like processing and our food in this country? Okay, so I think Whole Foods had walnuts. I know Trader Joe's had a major something or other about a month ago. Yeah, there it is. Trader Joe's recalled fresh basil, 29 states, salmonella, food recalls, current ground beef, all of this stuff. Like, I don't remember growing up and seeing, I remember every once in a while they'd be like, there's a major recall and yada, yada, yada. And mom would freak out and go run to the fridge and look and see that the lot code was different and, shrink down as the door is open and the air was getting loose and put her hand up to her head and say, oh, thank heavens, his dad comes rolling around the bend thinking she's crazy, screaming for her to close the door. We're not going to refrigerate the neighborhood. Here's an image. So last week, peanut butter, week before, granola. Who? TF, and that stands for something. Yeah, like what is, exactly? I don't know. There's a lot of problems going on. Now, we're in decline as a nation, okay? That's why my post on the crazy laws from Cicero. The crazier a country's laws get, the more, it shows that the empire is collapsing, right? Prepper Dog called it. He said, we are like Rome, because my grandfather used to say that. He said, we grow fat like the Romans. I wouldn't eat Walmart meat. That's all right. So you see this stuff like, I can't believe people might buy meat there. Man, there are rural areas where that's all you can get, There are areas that are like, the only place you're going is for the Walmart, because that's where you get the toilet paper and everything else. Some places have the Dollar General and yada, yada, but you get the point. Some people do not have choice. That's why I love the get out of the cities videos. It's like, people can't just up and move. It's not easy for people to do that. It's not easy for anyone to just be like, screw it, I'm going to sling my house and move out to, some rural country in Ohio, county in Ohio. Excuse me, sorry. So I just, calls for reevaluating food sources, moving away. So it just seems like there's a confluence of all this going on right now. Between the bird flu, between the callbacks and everything else. This is problematic. So, we're trying to eat clean in the house, as we're saying. We're getting rid of all processed food. We're doing our best. It'll never be 100%, but we're trying to get rid of all processed stuff. We're trying to make our own bread. Now, the good news is what we're doing is actually saving us a little bit of money. We're making our own, sourdough. My wife literally made 4 loaves, and we're through 1.5 of them in about 36 hours, right? So, we're doing our best, and I think people need to get into it. And it's funny though. I feel like there's just more control being consolidated by a small portion of, people in charge, whatever you want to call them, the powers that be, government, yada, yada. And it's like you see all this and you're like, well, why should I trust you? Everything that's coming out from your sources is having problems. It's getting, sick. So, and then you think about on X, I'm on, on Twitter, right? X. And I put a post out a few days ago how Facebook was going after, Facebook had put a warning sign, okay, on people that are getting into canning groups, okay? So your grandma McGillicuddy, she's of the Great Depression style. She sees, she's been through the 70s with the inflation. She sees pretty nasty inflation on the rise, and she's trying to help some people out so they can get into the kitchen, learn how to can food, and, save a little bit of money. Do their own thing. Grow their food, store their food, can their food, all the kind of stuff that people in the prepper community like to do, right? Because prepping is not just, worried about a nuclear mushroom cloud on the horizon. Prepping is also, holy crap, green beans are, $7 for a batch now when they used to be $3.50. Like that's prepping food is also, I just lost my job. And I'm going to be really broke for the next 2 months as I try to figure it out. All right, I'm going to dip into my preps. That's prepping. So this thing on Facebook, and I guess it went not viral, but it went much farther than my usual posts on X do. It got, I think, 4,000 or 5,000 views, and gained some subscribers and all good stuff. But it basically was like, is your friend getting too into? Are they wanting to, are they becoming extreme? I mean, I don't know about you, but if there's one thing that people should be extreme about, it's about protecting their family. And I'm not talking about, being violent. I'm talking about just doing things to protect them, to help them. Canning food is going to save you money. That's not Timothy McVeigh or something. I took a recipe that grandma taught me, and it was a bonding experience. And I joined a group because I wanted to help other people. And now you're on some kind of a list. So my deductive reasoning is that the only thing that I can think of is that all of this is being done in a way that, is to make it so they control the food. But then when you look at all this stuff, Look at all this stuff. I mean, why would I want to trust you with my food? Why would I want to trust you with any of that? Trust the Amish guy with a beard in the net, or the Mennonites that are, siding out a thing of beef and cutting steaks. The guy that does the custom cleaning of deer every year for when hunting season is over. He's a custom butcher, processing. Like, those are the kind of people that are good. Like, that's who you want. These are the good people. No, Facebook's got like an extremist thing. They're extremists now. So, I don't know. We just live in an upside down world. I'm looking on college campuses, and kids are paying, what used to be worth a house for a year of college. And they can't even get there because of agent provocateurs. Everything that used to be good in this country is now seen as bad. Like, you can't even, like, if you say I'm a patriot, I'm patriotic to America. And I am. I used to teach American government. I love America. I want my children to grow up in America that they love. I want everybody to be successful. Doesn't matter the race, religion, whatever. But you see all this stuff going on around you, and you're like, man, they're trying to come down on people that are just trying to be good people. They're coming down on people that are trying to be, patriotic, good Americans. They're coming down on people that are trying to teach other people how to can food and preserve and save some money. Coming down on people that are, hey, I don't really trust what's going on out there. I want to teach my children the ABCs of life and everything in homeschool. Coming down on people that are there's any list of numerous things that you can put into this space. And you watch all this, and it's just absolutely surreal. And, the people that are getting rewarded are the people that have no idea what America is and what it stands for. And I tell this. I actually did I'm educating, right? And we're talking about how a lot of these places in, I'll just say third world countries. Okay, that's a big, lofty word. But places that used to be run by like European powers. Now, were the European powers using them for resources and trade and climate exchange, yada, yada? Yes, but a lot of these places went back and the colonists left, and all kinds of crazy crap got even worse. Like, you could make the case that America's presence was good in a way. And now all that's being, put on. When you watch the little, like, snippets of Joe giving the Presidential Medal of Freedom, because he did that today. He's giving the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He gave it to Al Gore, he gave it to Michael Bloomberg, he gave it to Nancy Pelosi, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching. In the back of my mind, I'm like tallying all the things I know that these people did, supposedly, or at least are accused of. Some financial, some, Al Gore and his climate stuff, things like that really had some negative effects on people. Had some, I'm sure they had positive in some areas and all that, but it's the country and our government today was in there having a circle jerk session of all these different medals that they wanted to give to all these different people that were of a certain political flavor. I can't all right, great. You gave yourselves medals and all that. Now go fix some crap. But no, it's not going to happen. Just like this food thing. Everything is a dismantling. That's becoming the common theme here on the old PrepperNow, is that we are just going through a major dismantling. Bad bobber. Control the food, control the people. Absolutely correct. Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival says, Easier than that, control the money flow, control everything. Yeah, well, that's coming next. Like, I didn't even get into the financials of stuff. And if you've been around, you know I do like a good financial video. So, and the Mountain Truth, he says, what worms? That's the other thing. They're slipping stuff into the food now that we don't even know. Acheta, Acheta, I think, is like what they call now the ground up, I think it's crickets, powder that they put in there. Oh man, my wife and I went off the other day. We were talking about milk and stuff, and I jokingly said something about cockroach milk, and she was like, yeah, I might try it. And I was like, are you kidding me? Now, you have to understand, my wife does like to be not combative. She likes to play devil's advocate. And in the end of the day, I could tell that she was being that way with that. But like cockroach milk is something that is on the table. Acheta is already going into our food. All kinds of stuff is happening. So this bird flu is one thing, but when you see all the other things happening, the meat recalls, the basil recalls, the whatever. I'm sure it'll be another something or other here in the next week or so. It's concerning. So we're going super clean. We're doing nothing but lean meats and fruits and veggies. Man, we got local asparagus. These things were literally fatter than my thumb. I love asparagus. But yeah, you take local grown cabbage, you shave it off, you put a little olive oil, a little bit of seasoning in the thing, and you flip it, make like a disc of cabbage, saute it up, a little bit of seasoning. It's good as gold. Now, if you want to go the unhealthy route, you go with whatchamacallit, you go with bacon fat. So that's another thing for another time. So yeah, I don't know. I'm concerned. Our food supply is something that we should take seriously. It's not a matter of your part. Good, wholesome food that makes you healthy. Do you think there's a spat of sicknesses? And I'm not going to drill down on anything right now. But I've had numerous friends that have gone through sicknesses. My mom, one of my best friends, and my mom especially. Now, she's in her 70s, so, this is the time when a lot of people should be, checking out, unfortunately. But she's currently healthy. I'll knock on some wood after this podcast. But she is losing a lot of her friends, but she's not losing them because they're dying in their sleep. There's disease, there's ailments, there's maladies, there's things like that are going on that are taking them out much quicker than they probably would have gone. And the other thing is that when they're being diagnosed, when they're being figured with whatever it is, this malady they may be, it's not like it's in an area where we can go and we can catch it. No, it's in an area where it's like, you have 3 months. You're full blown here. This is now in this portion of your body and it's too late. That kind of stuff. That's what's happening with these people. And I know a lot of you guys, have family, I'm sure, that have had similar things in the last few years. So, nose picking and Arkansas living. Good to see you, gentlemen. Again, it's easy as a prepper channel, or I don't even know what to call this anymore. Wag my finger and say move out of the cities or grow your own food or raise your own cattle or yada yada. You can't do that. I just don't. Things are too far gone financially now. But getting control of your own food and everything else, and making sure that you've got at least you're trying to eat better. Maybe you're sourcing it better. I don't know. We're getting rid of all the processed crap. No more crackers, no more, if we're getting it and it's something, it's got to be from a Mennonite or an Amish, and that's usually tough because, well, it's expensive, and it's easy for people to say. So maybe, I don't know, maybe you can't go that, but maybe you can go and, get beans and rice that's of a healthier, kind of level, that kind of thing, or get other stuff that you can do that would be easier to eat. Or maybe you can go in with people, maybe you got neighbors that are around you. And you're like, hey, man, I keep hearing all this concerning crap on the news about, our food supply. What do you say we put together and we get ourselves a side of beef, I've got enough room in my fridge and freezer. We can make room. And if you and, a couple other families do it on our street, we can make it so it works out for everyone. That's what I think needs to happen. But again, it's easier said than done. And so I don't fault you if you don't have the means. It's tough right now. Super tough right now. Look at all this stuff. Let's go on over to Citizens Free Press. Now he's been real heavy into the whatchamacallit, the protests on campus. So I'm not gonna but I just want to look at the headlines. I gotta be careful too. Sometimes these headlines are a little salty, and anyway, I'm not gonna get into it. I haven't checked it out yet. We'll go back on over here. Here we are, folks.